This is Paul Thatcher for Fight Magazine at the Tap Out Training Center with Shawn Tompkins.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the gym. Tap Out Training Center is the home of Team Tompkins, and just getting a little work done tonight with the boys, getting them ready for the WEC coming up, and we're really excited about it.
So tell us about that. You've got in here right now, you've got Sam Stout, you've got Mark Komanek and Chris Hordecki, and you've got some interesting fights there with, let's go with Sam first. Is it going against Paul Taylor, a banger? Yep. What's the plan for that one?
Well, I mean, it's no surprise that Joe Silva gave us another stand-up guy, so that's what we're going to do. I mean, we aim to please. We know it's a great fight. We respect Paul. We want to see him get to 155, and we want to see what he can do. We know he's got good reach. We know he's got good speed. Let's just see who's the best mixed martial artist come October in Anaheim, California.
And then let's talk a little bit about who else we got out there. We've got Mark Komanek. Another interesting fight because he's got Leonard Garcia, who's known to just go out there and bang and go crazy. And, Mark is known for his more technical striking. So that poses an interesting bout right there.
Well, I mean, you go back to the beginning of boxing, and this is what people wanted to see, brawler versus technician. And we've got the purest form of it coming up in the WEC, because I can pretty much guarantee you guys this fight's not one of those where they're going to go out there and try to wrestle each other. With Leonard, he's a good friend of ours. Been in here to train with us before and stuff. We respect him, but at the same time, we know what a win over him is going to do for us. And we plan to go out there and show him that technical kickboxing will beat his brawling any day.
And then, of course, Chris Hordecki's fighting Ed Ratcliffe, another banger.
Yeah, we've got our hands full of some strikers, so apparently that's what we're known for, and that's what they want to see us up against. So we've been training for Ed. This will be our second camp. Obviously we thought we were going to fight him before he injured his back. So finally now we get to actually do it. We see if the game plan's going to work out for us. We haven't really switched up anything what we thought before. We know Ed's probably one of the fastest guys in the WEC, and especially in that division. And we just have to impose our will and see where the fight takes us.
So moving on from there, moving on from the pasty white guys from Canada, we've got, what's your thoughts? So you're also training Vitor here in your camp. So tell us your thoughts on what's going on with, Chael's situation.
Well, it came to a surprise as all of us to hear what happened, when the Athletic Commission out of California announced it the other day that he tested positive apparently for too much testosterone, or too high a level, I guess, in his body. I've heard today that Chael's going to appeal that. The one thing that I don't underestimate Chael with is that he's a very, very intelligent guy. So I would imagine that he'll have his ducks in a row when it comes time to appeal it. Unfortunately, I think, though, that with the charge of testing positive, he's going to have a suspension, or at least has to wait some time before his problem is heard in front of the Athletic Commission. So that's going to put him out of this fight anyways, this rematch. So where that puts us, I'm not sure. As far as I know, we're going to fight Okami, and that's what we've been preparing for already for the last few weeks for.
So tell us about, does that change? Let's just say, would you prefer that this does change for Vitor and he gets to fight Silva, or would you rather he just go ahead and fight Okami?
We wanted to fight to Silva from the beginning. Problem being, Silva got injured, then Vitor got injured, and now I've heard Silva's injured again, and apparently wouldn't be able to do that rematch with Chael until early next year. Our problem with that is the fact that we haven't fought since we fought Franklin back in November of last year. I know both me and Vitor, the idea of going with Okami was the fact that, yes, we're going to get to fight in November again and be able to throw some hands and some feet again and really get back into it. Obviously, our boss is the UFC. Dana White, Lorenzo, Joe Silva, they're going to decide, I guess, in the next few days what happens. As far, like I said, as I'm concerned, we're fighting Okami.
That being the case, let's just say that does take place and they do decide that they want to see Vitor fight Anderson. You've been training Vitor to face Okami, more of a judo wrestling kind of background, and then you go to Anderson. What changes would you make in his camp, if any?
Oh, it's a completely different camp. And actually, Vitor and I have been preparing for Anderson for a very long time. The fact that we started 3 weeks ago to prepare for Okami, he was just another fight that we had to take before we get to fight Anderson. Sooner or later, we know we're going to fight him. We've been thinking about fighting him for a year, and we've wanted to. We've got the game plan. We know what it is. We would just have to make adjustments, in camp, and I'd have to change up some sparring partners and some game plan throughout our weekly schedule.
So if that were the case, you think Vitor would just take a few months off of training now and then go back into training just a few months before the Anderson fight?
I would never think that we would take time off, Vitor or I. If we're healthy, we're going to do this together and get ready. We might lighten things up a little bit, and obviously we're going to have to, like I said, we'd have to readjust our whole camp. So, but again, it's not really up to us. It's up to the UFC.
And then lastly, we noticed that you've got the Bulgarian legend, Blagoy. I can't remember his last name. What's his last name? Do you remember his last name? He's told me about 7 times. I still can't remember. But the first name is Blagoy. He's the Sambo guy that beat Fedor. So how's that? Tell us a little bit about that guy.
Well, I mean, he's been in here training with us for a couple of months. It's been great having him on the floor. He's obviously a very big bear of a dude. The guys aren't always real happy about being his training partner, I'll tell you that. But we've all learned a lot from him. His sambo is amazing. And his boxing, I mean, I'm telling you, I've worked with a lot of professional boxers over the years with heavy hands, but this guy, he has some serious bricks in his hands. So to put that all together and be a professional mixed martial artist, all he needs is a good manager that leads him the right way, and the rest will happen for him.
So you think there's a bright future for him?
I absolutely think that there's a good future in the business for Blagoy.
Have you taught him to maybe go for a couple of body shots instead of going for the head? Because he showed us both his broken hands. He broke them on Fajita's head in the last fight. So have you told him to mix it up a little bit, not go for the head all the time?
Well, that's kind of my game anyways. All my guys love that liver shot. Boss handed it down to me, and I'm handing it down to my guys. So I would hope that Blagoy will go after those ribs a little bit.
Well, thanks for your time, Shawn. This is Paul Thatcher for Fight Magazine at Tap Out Training Center.